Hi everyone, I'm Dakota. Welcome to my channel for those of you that are new. If you already subscribed to my channel, welcome back. Um, I hope everybody is having a great start to this new year. I'm kind of chuckling because I can't believe it's already, we're like a week and a half away from February. Like what happened to January? It's just crazy how fast time is going. Um, anyway, today I wanted to talk about pendulums or the pendulum because we sell a ton of pendulums in my store. We carry a lot of pendulums, and we get pretty much the same question asked every time somebody is interested in a pendulum. And, that is, which one do I choose? How do I use it? Blah, 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 all of the questions. And some people come in with already some knowledge of the pendulum and how to pick the right one and whatever. Maybe they read it in a book or they've watched the videos, etc. And all of that is perfect. It's all fine. What I'm here to do is talk more about that. And if you've watched my channel and if you know me, you know that I tend to be a little out of the box on things. What I mean by that is I am all about books. I'm all about books. I have a library in my house of books. And we sell a ton of books at my store. And I think that books are an incredible resource. It's an incredible start to your journey. However, I want to say this, and this is kind of why I'm out of the box, which I think for the most part, maybe not if you're brand new to following a spiritual path, whatever. Um, but as you continue down your journey, I think that you're going to find this to be true. And that is, like I said, I love reading the books, and maybe I'm reading the book on pendulum, and I think that is a fantastic book. That is awesome. And there's some great things in there. However, I don't particularly like that, or that part right there doesn't really resonate with me. Um, well, then am I going to use that? I'm not going to use that because if it doesn't resonate with me, then I'm not going to feel it. I'm not going to want to do that. So I'm going to find a way that I want to do it, a way that works for me. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about today are probably things that, I don't know, may or may not be in a book, may or may not be on a video. It's just my way. I'm just giving people a different outlook, some more information, on what you can do. Um, Not that anything that I'm telling you isn't already in the books or isn't already out there in the internet world. It most likely is. So, but you're here now, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So today we're talking about the pendulum. And right here, this is a rose quartz pendulum, and has a little ball on the end. So this is rose quartz pendulum. Now, I want to say, as far as pendulums go, a lot of people love to use the pendulums for divination, and which I think probably is what they were intended for in originally. I will be honest with you and tell you that I've never really done my research as far as the history of pendulums goes, other than I went as far back as learning about dowsing rods, which is a form of finding water with uh, two copper rods, and you walk along and you have these two rods, and when they cross it means there's water there or something like that. But they had a mention of they used to use the pendulums as well, to locate water. Couldn't tell you the years or anything, but I've never really done like deep research into the pendulum. One of the reasons is the pendulum does not really resonate with me. I love working with, now here, that's hypocritical. You don't like it, but you love it. Um, I don't like working with the pendulum for divination, like for like you would in tarot, asking questions and having it divine my answer. That I don't care for. But for me personally, I use pendulum for healing, for using like for spiritual cleansing. I use it, sometimes I've used it to clear energy from the home, or just pure, more like purify energy in the home. Um, which you can do. So you can use your pendulum like you would a sage stick or incense or Palo Santo, where you're walking around your house and just kind of cleansing that energy and purifying your space. You can use a pendulum for that also. You can use your pendulum to cleanse your area around your altar area or your ritual space. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. So I tend to use the pendulum when I'm a Reiki master teacher, and we have a room, private room in our store, that we have our Reiki beds set up, and that's where we do Reiki treatments. And I sometimes use the pendulum to help with that energy, to help align the energy. Not that Reiki ever needs any help. I just want to put that out there. But I just like the added touch. I don't always do it. We also do chakra cleansing, chakra balancing, chakra alignment, whatever you want to call it. Um, and that involves laying stones on, on the areas of the chakras. It involves gridding your body, and it also involves usually some sound therapy, singing bowls, etc. And I do like to use the pendulum to help get those chakras spinning in the right direction and at the right speed. So most of the time, my pendulums then are used for healing. So, but they can be used for several things. And you know, uh, I get a lot of people that want to know, well, which pendulum should I, what's a good pendulum? Well, what feels right to you? If we're talking gemstone, which this is a rose quartz, then it would be just like you came in and I've got, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rocks, stones, gemstones, etc., minerals, all kinds of stuff. When you come into the store, you're picking up stones, you're looking at them, you're feeling them, doesn't feel right, or we have descriptions on all the stones and you want something, something for love or something for self-love or that kind of thing. Well, rose quartz, that's the love stone. I happen to like to use rose quartz. I have a little altar, little space. It's not really an altar, it's a space altar, I guess, set up for Reiki, where I can send distant Reiki. And I also use it sometimes when people are requesting spell work for a healing. And at that, for whatever reason, I like using rose quartz because I feel like it's a universal mm, embrace of healing. So that's why I use rose quartz for chakras and Reiki. However, that's here at my house. At the store, I use a quartz crystal because quartz is what's called a master stone. It's capable of doing whatever you ask it to do. And most times, I don't ask it to do anything except do its job, because it's the master. It knows if you need if your solar plexus needs healing, it's going to heal. If if your crown chakra is closed, it's going to open it. So it is the master stone. That's what it's called. It's a quartz crystal, but its property is master stone. It masters everything. So that's what I use at the store. And I have another pendulum that is a lapis lazuli that I used to use years ago. When I say years ago, I'm probably talking 15 years ago. when I used to use the pendulum for divination, and I used the lapis for that, the lapis lazuli, my pendulum. And for whatever reason, in divination things, like when I would ask questions, I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. It didn't feel right. And so I started to think about it, and I thought, well, the lapis lazuli is really, that's that indigo stone, so it's good for third eye work. So maybe it would be good for connecting with spirit, or, that divine message kind of thing. And even with that, I don't know. I just didn't like it. It didn't resonate with me for whatever reason, the energies. So I put it away. I put it in its little bag, and it's resting. It's been resting for years. So many years that I don't remember where I put it because I wanted to show it to you. My point is, you can use a gemstone. You can use, it can be metal, it can be wood, it can be orgone, which is a new kind of newish product that's really been selling hot, which is really just a resin, but it has stone chips within it. Usually it has copper shavings or something, which copper is an amplifier. It's a great metal, by the way. It's a great tool for magic. I'm just saying. So it has a little copper flakes in it, and but the outer shell is just resin. It's a clear resin, but that's pretty powerful. So you can use that. Whatever resonates with you, whatever feels to you. Now, that being said, some people, when they come in, our customers, and like I said, I've got this rack, and the pendulums are hanging on the rack. They're just all hanging on the rack. Now, I see this, and I would say every day I see this, and more than once. People come in, and here's the pendulum hanging on the rack, and then I see people doing this, going underneath the pendulums because they're looking for the pendulum that reacts to their hand. My question is it your receiving hand, or is that your giving hand? Is it your non-dominant hand, or is it your dominant hand? Because one receives energy and one puts out energy. So, so that is something to think about when you're doing that. And let's just say, oh yeah, I'm left-handed. This is my dominant hand, so I'm trying to find energy. Oh look, the rose quartz, it's starting to swing. Okay, yes it is. How do you know that that's swinging from your energy? Because there's been 10 people just today before you that put their hands under the stones. Maybe they pulled that stone down and was looking at it and playing with it. Do you know? Because we don't cleanse everything. Like, it's not my job after a customer has touched this to do a whole cleanse and recharge. So how do you know that that isn't somebody else's energy that's interacting with your energy? So I encourage people that when you're trying to select a stone, either what is it that you want to divine with? Are you divining or are you healing? You want to divine? Okay, great. We're doing divination. So which stone then either aesthetically calls to you? Oh, I love rose quartz. I've got so much of it. And so you want the rose quartz pendulum. That's great. But for some reason, you're looking at, I don't know, the tiger's eye, and you're like, that's weird. I keep looking at that tiger's eye. Well, maybe the tiger's eye is what you need. Maybe that energy from the tiger's eye is saying to you, without you going under it, without you taking it off of the stand and doing it over your hand. You haven't even touched them. But for whatever reason, you keep looking at the tiger's eye and you don't know why. You're not really drawn to it. not drawn to it aesthetically, but maybe it's drawn to you. And so you have to think about that. Is that a stone that you might want to consider, or pendulum that you might want to consider for your divination? So it's endless how to choose your pendulum, in my opinion. The one thing that I just really want to stress is that when you go to a store or you buy a pendulum online, just because you like and you love rose quartz and it's the only stone you work with, it doesn't necessarily mean that that stone is going to work for you in this case. Things are picky. Things are picky. So you can also use personal items. There was back in the day, again, when I was using pendulums for divination, I was working with a girl who was married, thought her husband was cheating on her. And so we took, and this is a fine line, let me tell you, this is a fine line with ethics here. I would never do this today. This was back before I really had a grasp on ethical boundaries. So we're talking, a good 15 plus years ago. We took her wedding ring because that was from him to her as a promise. And so we took that ring and we did the whole divination thing. Um, why I say it's not, there's an ethical line there is because, I mean, it was her question, is he cheating? However, that ring was, I know that ring is hers, but it was from him. It was a whole thing. Today I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it that way. There's no way. I just wouldn't do it. And that's just me. Okay, let me look at my notes here real quick. So that's kind of how, so how do we know which one is for us? We don't. We just have to use our intuition, what feels right. And it's so hard, again, when you go into a metaphysical store, to a crystal store, whatever, to feel, because a lot of people have felt those before. They've touched them. And who knows? Maybe their energy is all over the outside of the stone. We don't know, right? We just really don't know. So it's sort of a, play it by ear kind of thing. Um, okay. Let me see. What do we do here? Again, sometimes people choose aesthetically by color, by intention. If they are working, they're healers and they want to use divination, or if they want to use pendulum for healing, then maybe they're going to want to look at those pendulums that would typically uh, be considered a healing color. So your greens and your blues are typically for healing. We also have chakra pendulums that have the colors of all the 7 chakras. So if you're doing chakra work, maybe something like that would be, something that would be something that you would consider. Um, when I talk about intention, it is about intention. Are you using it for divination or are you using it for healing? Um, and I draw a fine line there. As I would never, if I wanted to divine something, if I just got a hair and said, oh, you know what, I think I'm gonna do some magic and I'm gonna use my pendulum. I have no idea what I did with the lapis, and I'm not gonna go buy a pendulum just because I want to try this, spell using a pendulum. But I'm not going to grab this one either, and I'm not going to grab the one at the store because are my healing, those are my healing pendulums. That's what they're for. They're not for divination. So I would have a separate pendulum specifically for divination. That is just me. I'm just me. Okay, let's talk a little bit about cleansing them. Cleansing. I get asked this all the time with everything in the store. Everything from stones to cards, tarot cards and oracle cards and everything, candles, jewelry, everything. So cleansing your stone. Would I cleanse my pendulum when I first get it and take it home? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because one is I don't know who's handled it. I this is going to be really gross, but I have seen children this gross. I have seen children put the stones all up in their mouth and put them back in the thing. We try to catch that, and we try to get a tissue and pull that stone out, and we try to at least, wash it off in water. But I don't want someone who's sick, someone who has sweaty hands, whatever. I don't want to just take that stone home and start using it. I want to hygienically, hygiene. I want to use hygiene, proper hygiene, and give that stone a bath. So, however, it depends. Am I using a selenite pendulum? Then I'm not going to use water. Am I going to put it in salt? No, I'm not, because salt will pit your stones. It will leave little pits in your stone. And if you're using metal, trust me, it will corrode it after a time. Now, if you just took it and you put it in salt and brushed it off, fine, it's going to be fine. But if you lay it in there, it's not going to be fine. Maybe the first time, maybe the second time. Eventually, it's going to corrode. This right here is metal. This right here is metal. It will corrode, and my pendulum itself is going to get pitted after a period of time. So I don't want that. So I don't use salt. I don't use salt water. Um, I don't cleanse my stones with water after the first initial cleansing it when I get it home. Um, I don't. I cleanse with smoke because smoke for me is pure and it is safe. I mean, it's safe. Unless you touch the fire, it's safe. I can take my pendulum, whether I'm using a sage stick, Palo Santo, an incense, the smoke from my candle, which is usually lit. That is how I cleanse. The other way that you can cleanse, and I love this technique, and I have done it, is using is putting it in your hand and using that visualization technique where you are literally seeing this cord, silver cord, purple cord, whatever color the cord is that you see, that is still connected with somebody else's energy. And I literally see myself snipping that cord and then cleansing it with my own breath. So that is another way. Just be careful. Water and salt and any kind of thing, like even some herbs and oils, no, they will pit and corrode any metal. So you're not going to want to do that. Um, what else do I have? Okay. Well then, how is it supposed to swing? Oh, well, if it swings, if I ask it yes and it goes like this, then if I ask a question and it goes like this, well, that's yes, right? And if it says no, that's no. If it says it doesn't know, is it going clockwise or is it going counterclockwise? Think about that. Does it make a difference? But here's the thing. Stones have their own energy. Metal has its own energy. Wood has its own energy. And so I'm going to ask the stone, I keep saying stone because this is stone, that's why. I'm going to ask my pendulum each and every time, show me yes. And let's just say yes, it starts swinging left and right. It's telling me that that is yes. Then I'm going to say, is my name Sue? And it goes like that. Well, then that's not yes. This is yes. So if I said, is my name Dakota? And it swings like that, then okay, it's charged. Then we know this means yes, this means no. But if I said, is my name Dakota? And it went like this, that's a no. The stone isn't ready yet. Work with it some more. Run it through the smoke. Meditate with it. Blow your breath on it. Introduce yourself to it. Let it know what your intention is. Show me yes. Now it's going this way. Show me no. Okay. Show me you don't know. It maybe goes counterclockwise or clockwise. This is clockwise in my direction. This is clockwise. That means it doesn't know. Or show me you don't know. And it spins the other way. Maybe that is a, I know, but I'm not going to tell you right now. You have to figure out that. A lot of people like to charge their stones. You will swing this way for yes, and you will swing this way for no. And I'm not opposed to that if that is your way and that's what works for you, then that's go with that. For me, my work with stones and with metals, it has been my experience that for me to think that I can literally tell this stone that has its own energy that it will swing the way I tell you to swing. I don't do that. I let the stone, before I go into my divination or my healing, uh, here's a good example with chakras. Um, Show me when a chakra is blocked. It might go counterclockwise. Okay. Show me a chakra that is open. And if it goes counterclockwise again, then I'm not ready. Or I might say, okay, show me a chakra that, is open and maybe it goes this way. Now show me a chakra that isn't open and it goes this way. Ah, okay. It didn't spin. It went this way and it went this way. Now, just because it went this way, I'm going to ask another question about the chakras. That would be a yes answer. It should go this way. If it doesn't, it's not ready and you have to work with them. Okay, that is how I see the spinning. I don't tell my stones, my pendulums, which direction to spin. Yeah, I just don't. Do you need a pendulum mat? Okay, well, do you? I don't. Not if I'm asking a yes or no question. Because I've already asked it. Show me yes. And for simplicity, let's do this. It says yes. And I said, is my name Dakota? And it said yes. And I said, am I doing a video? And it says yes. Okay, then I know it's good. And we know that this is no. Okay. Well, then do I need a mat for that? Because if I said show me yes and it goes like this, and we've already, we've already accomplished that is yes. Well, then I ask the question, is it cold outside? Yeah. Is it supposed to rain later? Yeah. Is it going to snow? Yay. So that's what I mean. That is what I mean. Um, I don't need the mat for yes and for no and for I don't know because I already know those spins. However, a mat is good if you what day, oh, here's a good one. What day of the week should I play the lottery? Well, it's not going to speak to me. So if I had a mat that had days on it, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what day of the week? And it swings towards that day. Okay, Tuesday. Hey, that's today. Let's go. You know, there are some that have numbers. It almost looks like a Ouija board, and there are mats out there that are Ouija board mats. I mean, that's what they look like. They have alphabet, they have yes, no, maybe, they've got all the things. They have numbers, and so you could do a number, like I don't know, how many whatevers and how many days until this happens. And it swings to to a number. Um what month is, and it swings to the month, or if you're using it like Ouija, remember that you are opening a portal when you do that. I'm just going to throw that out there. If you can open a portal, you can close a portal. So remember that, please. When you're doing work, I'm going off subject here. My notes are done. I'm going off subject. If you are doing some kind of spirit work like that, and oh, we think we did Ouija board. I get this. I get this. This is why I'm telling you this. We kind of had a little party and we got a little crazy and we played with the Ouija board, and ever since, the last 2 days, we think something's okay. Well, you opened the portal. If you got the power to do that, then close it. Go back and close it. Send it back. Close the portal. You left it open because you got scared and you just, you went away. Or, mom was coming and you had to hurry up and close it and throw it under the bed because you don't want her to know. I'm just saying, if you have the power to open a portal, you have the power to close it. So please do that. um, when I am done, when I am done, I thank it. I thank it for, I am doing divination. I thank it. And, thank you for your work. Thank you for the answers. Whatever you want to say to it. You don't have to do a whole ceremony. It's just, and maybe it's just a holding in your hand and just going, privately, quietly, like, thank you, whatever it is. Put it on your charging plate, which selenite, carnelian, blue kyanite. I mean to tell you, there's a bunch of stones out there that are good for cleansing and charging. So you never have to use water or salt or um, moon water or any of the things. You don't have to. The stones themselves are self cleansers and self chargers, and they take care of it for you. So that's kind of an easy thing right there. You never have to worry about it. You can just lay it right on there. uh, I do now. Okay, so I'm out of the box. So I do sometimes leave an offering. It's a pendulum. It's a stone. Yes, it is. But guess what? I asked it to do something for me, just like I would in spell work. Or, when you're doing a ritual, we leave an offering for the spirits. We leave offerings for the fae. We leave offerings. It's what we do. So if I'm doing a spell work and I am asking for something, I have an end result. I'm asking for something. Uh, whether it's releasing, manifesting, whatever the case may be, I leave an offering. I leave an offering. Um, that is my practice. Uh, I'm not going to just take and go, oh, gee, thanks, whoop, thumbs up, and walk away. I'm going to continue to be grateful. So, whether it works or whether it doesn't, you still need to be grateful. It may not work because now is not the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Now is not the time for you to receive that message. Or now is not the time. I'm not giving you the answer because you haven't worked with it enough. You haven't done a meditation with it. You haven't held it. You haven't blown breath in it. You haven't done whatever you feel like you want to do with it. You haven't cleansed it the way you want to cleanse it. You haven't put it out under the moon to charge it. Those types of things. So really, really think about that. Really think about that and think about the importance of that. This is a tool. This is a magical tool, and it is there to help us focus, and it is there to hopefully help bring us answers. It's there to help clear, energy that needs to be cleared. It helps in, I think, spiritual healing. And if it's going to help, then I am going to be grateful and I'm going to let it know. Well, what does a pendulum eat? It isn't about that, my friends. It isn't about that. We don't need to be silly and go, oh well, it drinks, mead. We don't have to do that. But hey, guess what? If you have mead, go outside and offer some to the land, offer some to the divine, pour a bit out and be grateful, right? Um, it helped you because one day you may really, really, really want it, and it might go, why should I answer you? Why should I help you? All you do is throw me in a box when you're done. I mean, so it's a working tool, and I think that it needs to be respected as such. So those are some of the things. Those are some of the things to think about when you that I think about or thought about when I got my pendulums. Not the first few. I didn't because I thought buy the book is what you're supposed to do, and that's what I did. And today I'm not working with any of those pendulums. I work with the rose quartz, which I did the way I told you. Um, I felt like using rose quartz because I felt like that was what I was doing. I'm sending Reiki love, I'm sending that healing energy, which is all about the feels, it's all about the feels. And then again, at the shop, I use a quartz crystal because it is a master stone, and we get so many different issues that come up at the store, whether it's, a blocked crown chakra, throat chakra. It could be the sacral, chakra. It could be for this because maybe the person isn't well. Maybe they're recovering. Maybe there was a breakup, a job loss, whatever. There's so many different issues, and I don't have enough time to pick and choose which pendulum for that. So the quartz crystal master stone, I let it know, do your job, and it does, and I'm grateful. So that's what I have for you today. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up because we just get so many people that have read the book or saw it on a video or whatever, and I'm not saying that that is wrong. I'm just saying that that's one person's view. That's one, they're helping you. They're giving you some ideas. They're giving you food for thought, and you should respect that and take it for what it is. However, uh, excuse me, um, you're powerful, and you need to use your own power. All right, see you next time. Bye, guys.